On Monday, The View finally broke its silence on the suspension of fellow ABC host Jimmy Kimmel after days of speculation. Whoopi Goldberg opened the discussion by acknowledging what many viewers were waiting for, joking, "Did y'all really think we weren't going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel?" She reassured the audience that despite the chatter, the show was still live, still broadcasting, and ready to address the controversy. Goldberg explained that the panel initially held back to see if Kimmel himself would speak first, just as they had done when Stephen Colbert's show was canceled in July. With Kimmel's show now suspended indefinitely, the women felt it was time to weigh in. ABC decided to pull Jimmy Kimmel live after the host made pointed remarks about the MAGA gang in relation to the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Kimmel had criticized attempts to deflect responsibility away from the shooter, comments that drew backlash and eventually pressure from FCC Chair Brendan Carr. Carr suggested that affiliates should consider dropping Kimmel's show and even urged Disney to take action. Goldberg was quick to remind viewers that while networks can choose to suspend or cancel shows, the government cannot pressure private companies into silencing someone's voice. She even pointed out that lawmakers across the political spectrum, including Rand Paul, Chris Murphy, and Ted Cruz, opposed Carr's intervention. The conversation quickly turned to the First Amendment and the importance of free speech in American democracy. Goldberg criticized former President Donald Trump for suggesting that Carr should have the power to decide whether programs critical of him could keep their licenses. She questioned how a president could misunderstand such a foundational right before handing the discussion to Sunny Hostin. As the show's legal expert, Hostin explained that freedom of speech was enshrined by the founders to specifically protect citizens who criticize their government. She reminded viewers that the Supreme Court has consistently reaffirmed this principle, stressing that even unpopular voices are protected under the Constitution. Navarro added emotional weight to the discussion by sharing her personal experiences growing up under both left-wing and right-wing dictatorships in Nicaragua. She warned that silencing journalists and public figures is often the first step authoritarian governments take to consolidate control. Navarro argued that the Trump administration had already shown signs of this behavior, pointing to its efforts to bar the Associated Press from the Oval Office and defund NPR and PBS. She urged media leaders and the public to resist political intimidation, saying that bullies only grow stronger when people stay quiet. Alyssa Farah Griffin joined in to highlight the long-term consequences of government interference in media. She warned that while conservatives may be comfortable with this crackdown now, the pendulum of power always swings back. One day, a left-leaning administration could use the same precedent to silence conservative voices, and she urged viewers to think about the dangerous example being set. The panel closed the discussion by reminding viewers that these issues ultimately come down to the choices made at the ballot box. Goldberg emphasized that the future of free speech rests in the hands of voters and vowed that The View would continue to defend everyone's right to express their opinions, no matter how controversial. The conversation served as a powerful reminder that freedom of speech is not just a political talking point. It is the cornerstone of democracy, and it requires constant vigilance to protect.